they're hoping that the turning in his coffin will actually generate some power.
Welcome to episode 21 of The Idiot's Odyssey. I'm Fergal O'Connor.
And I'm Eoin Murphy.
And these are your headlines.
He may have played Che Guevara, but Benicio del Toro won't be playing a rebel when he shows up in Star Wars Episode 8. Professor X will have more than just a cameo in the Wolverine 3. Another fantastic female property has entered the race to be Captain Marvel as Rebecca Ferguson enters the fray. And finally, Sony wants to shit out another RoboCop sequel.
So first, I guess we're leading with what's become the traditional Idiot's Odyssey way of opening an episode. Another fucking Star Wars story.
I just think it's the big news story, so fuck it.
This time it's episode 8, and Benicio del Toro is confirming that he'll be playing sort of a villain.
Sort of a villain? What does sort of a villain mean?
Sort of a villain basically means that he didn't want to say he's playing the villain because that felt like giving the plot away a little. Apparently J.J. Abrams hates that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he said like a villain, or what he said in Spanish because he was being interviewed on a Spanish radio station.
But you're going to translate to English, right?
Because my Spanish is a little rustio, is that he's going to be playing like a villain, and Benicio del Toro is confirmed, which is great because up to this point I felt like the casting for Star Wars Episode 7, it made me a little not nervous, but they were using outside ballpark.
I think the idea is that they were kind of using a lot of more or less unknown.
Yeah. Which is it's where Star Wars Episode 1 came in, or Episode 4. Well, let's not count the prequels.
But the thing is, right, I could kind of see what they're going for, because they're going with this universe, and so it's like,
yeah,
you don't recognize these people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this is like an obvious celebrity would kind of like, you know?
Yeah, but at the same time, Star Wars Episode 4 did have Alec Guinness. And
I know. I'm saying like one or two, like, you know what I mean? They're trying, but like, Jesus, like that's not really the point. I mean, J.J. Abrams is going for this kind of thing.
I'm just going with the parallel with the good Star Wars films.
Yes, I know.
Is that they're bringing in an actor who's very recognizable, and who's kind of got prestige.
Prestige, I think, is the right word in this area, especially because Benicio del Toro is just a quality actor.
Yeah, he's ridiculously diverse. At the same time, what they've done here, and it's kind of a sneaky thing, is no one knows what the fuck he's going to be doing.
But he probably will be a villain.
Oh yeah, but nobody knows what type of villain he's going to be.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to know yet. Like, I mean, the thing hasn't even started filming. Well, it has started filming,
which is why it's so clever casting an actor this diverse.
Yes, okay. And in other casting in the same film, Tom Baker will appear in some kind of form in Star Wars Episode 8 as well. Well, granted, he'll be voicing a character as far as we can tell yet, but these things always have a way of having video or motion capture as well involved.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes, but we'll see. And Tom Baker, of course, is most well known for being the Fourth Doctor in Doctor Who.
Yeah, I'm not too up on my Doctor Who mythology. Sorry, nerds.
He's the one who had the scarf and the hair.
I am familiar with the scarf.
Yes, it's probably the most infamous one of them.
Yeah, but I guess they're starting to sprinkle celebrity amongst the cast. They've been doing that already, I guess.
And Tom Baker's got like a really infamous voice as well,
Yeah?
Oh yeah. He was like, as in he's the narrator for Little Britain. Or was the narrator for Little Britain.
Plus, and I did have to look this up on Wikipedia, he narrated some shit for Echo the Dolphin, so shout out to Sega fans, I guess.
Yes. Patrick Stewart has confirmed that Professor X will be in Wolverine 3, or the third Wolverine film, or whatever they're going to call it anyway, which...
It's going to be more than an appearance, apparently. Yeah, it's not just going to be some sort of cameo.
The thing is, in the first Wolverine film, or if you want to call it that, whatever, the Wolverine Origin film, he basically had a cameo appearance where he was standing and CGI'd face and all this kind of crap.
I don't understand. You're talking about some film I've never seen.
Anyway, where he helped them escape on the helicopter, whatever. And then in the second one, of course, he just has the little cameo. He has the cameo at the end, which is like was basically the best part of the Wolverine.
Yep.
And in this, apparently, he'll have more than just a cameo, or it'll be more than just an appearance or whatever he said in a. So this is interesting in a.
Well, the Wolverine has always been sort of Logan off on his own, doing his thing.
Yeah, which.
And
again, I kind of. I feel that that's probably not the right place for him, to be honest, as in interacting with the team is probably his best place.
Yeah, now, if they're bringing the Professor in a role like this, I think you can start to place this in terms of the timeline, because Patrick Stewart plays a very specific role in that he's the older Professor, which places this later in the timeline.
Well, yeah. That makes sense.
Old man Logan stage, say. Which there have been rumours already that this would be when Logan was much, much older.
I think there's it's getting more and more, there's more things being heard about this, and as in originally it was just a rumour and now apparently it's quite a big rumour and all this, But it would make sense in that I think in the comics it's like Hawkeye who gives him the quest or whatever, or the object or whatever. But
I get a feeling that's not going to fly in this one.
I have a feeling that it might be Professor X who gives him the object, right? Yeah. That makes more sense, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And it fits with all of that.
It does seem to lend more credence.
Now, in terms of I'm very much aware that if Logan's older, surely Professor X will be older, and surely Professor X will be quite old, right?
Say, Days of Future Past old, except this is going to be in the new time. Look,
dead.
I had to Wikipedia this shit.
No.
So if you were feeling confused, you're feeling what I was feeling around 10 minutes ago.
You have to consider the fact that, where did the current Professor X come from? As in, considering that he blew up in, Last Stand, and then he was back in physical form or whatever.
Yeah, but the Last Stand timeline's now moved.
But this was before it was mute.
No, it doesn't have to be. Because there's a new timeline. They can set this Wolverine in the timeline where Jean Grey is still... I apologise for this nerd shit, everyone, by the way.
But do you not see what... Okay, that's not what I'm saying at all, right? He appeared, right? And now we don't know how he appeared. It could have been astral projection. It could have been taking over a new body or whatever, right? But... he could very well be using the similar system to appear in the Wolverine film. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is that this could be in the timeline where the Brett Ratner film never happened.
It probably is what I'm agreeing with you. But the thing is, he'd be quite older and possibly dead.
Or it could be more in terms of the Days of Future Past future, which was quite far in the future, but the Professor was still alive.
Yes, but Logan wasn't that much older, you know. But Logan still ages at a very slow rate.
Yeah, but he was much older in terms of he had the grey going on.
He only had the grey, so you could differentiate between the future and past.
He did.
Yes,
that's correct. I listened to the director's comment. I'm just shooting myself in the foot with the nerd gun right now.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to it, and I suppose it's better than it's nice that he has more than just a cameo.
More Patrick Stewart's a good thing.
Yes.
And it looks like Rebecca Ferguson's quickly becoming the it girl, following how she kind of blew up after Mission Impossible 4.
Yes.
This time she's being rumoured for Captain Marvel.
And there's been a lot of them rumoured, isn't there?
Yeah, I think the major front runner up to this point was Emily Blunt, and there have been Charlize Theron rumoured. Ronda Rousey and Bryce Dallas Howard were both taking cracks in the role.
I'd say Ronda Rousey would be brilliant in that role.
Yeah, she'd be fantastic. I don't know that much about Captain Marvel, to be fair.
No.
I don't know what sort of character she is, but more Rebecca Ferguson's a good thing, more Emily Blunt's a good thing. These casting rumours, they're both going for actresses who've lately been known for playing very sort of...
action roles?
Not action roles necessarily. I think not necessarily... I don't want to say strong either, but... sort of very properly fleshed out female roles.
Yes.
Yeah, in terms of it, they weren't just there to play fucking eye candy.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why they're being linked with them,
Yeah, which was a very un-Hollywood, very cool thing to do, and it sort of gives.
The thing is that it is a female director, and so this is very much a case of killing two birds with one stone, because they're having a female lead in a superhero film and having a female direct the superhero film, so it's yeah,
but it gives me hope.
So you can see why it would be smarter casting because it was a female director. But I think when they're being linked with like these really like I consider Emily Blunt pretty prestige, you know, in terms of as an actress.
Emily Blunt's fantastic. I mean,
so I don't think she would sign up to any ridiculous script.
Yeah,
and you know, if they got her, I would have been really impressed with their script.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
Between Looper and Edge of Tomorrow, and apparently in Sicario, she's absolutely fantastic as well. She's really been playing. She's been on fucking fire lately.
Yes, exactly. Hence the term hot property.
Cough.
And on the other side of the coin, that is female superheroes, Wonder Woman casting is still ongoing, and apparently they want both Sean Bean and Eva Green.
Sean Bean's playing Wonder Woman?
No,
Wonder Woman's going to die.
They want to play both of them to play villains, and they want Sean Bean to play Ares, the god of war, and they want Eva Green to play Cersei, who's a sorceress. And well, the shooting is supposed to start in November, so you know they'd want to get cracking on that. And it will be directed by Patty Jenkins. And what do you think of that?
Again, I'm wondering how DC are gonna meld this into their whole sort of dark and gritty vision, because DC love that dark and gritty shit. And now they're involving sorceresses and gods of war.
I kind of feel like this in the same way that you've got Doctor Strange in Marvel, where it's just like these worlds have like these science fiction elements or just, you know, straight up, you know, it's explained, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It makes logical sense to some degree, and then they have like Wonder Woman and Doctor Strange, where it's just like magic, you know?
I kind of feel like most of the film should be these characters just taking time out of their day to go and laugh at Batman, a guy in a fucking suit.
Yeah, it's just strange, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, well, Sean Bean's playing Ares, who's sort of a long-term rival of Wonder Woman, I guess,
okay,
which is unusual.
Yeah.
Given that Sean Bean doesn't tend to play characters who last long-term.
Here's the thing, right? I think the general rule of thumb, right, is that Sean Bean dies in a lot of films, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one denying this, right? And Ares, as like a long-term thing, would mean he'd probably last more than a film, right? Logic would dictate. However, Sean Bean has been known to not die in films that are crap. If Sean Bean dies in a film, there's a higher percentage chance that it'll probably be a good film.
You know, that makes a strange amount of sense now that I think about it.
I mean, he does actually live in films, but they tend to be crap, like Percy Jackson and whatever. I assume did he die in that one, or did he live?
You know, funny story, I haven't seen Percy Jackson for some reason.
Neither have I, that's why I'm asking. But I think he played Zeus according to your notes, so
Yep.
I'm assuming, you know, he didn't.
Probably not, but...
And, you know, so, you know, I mean, he does, and of course he didn't, I don't think he died in Jupiter Ascending, and apparently, you know, that was crap.
It makes no sense, but at the same time, I can't think of any counterexamples, so I'm going to let this one fly.
It's just...
Fuck it. If Sean Bean lives, this film is going to be complete garbage.
But of course, the thing is, by that stage, you probably have realised it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Your maths checks out.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. I mean, for all we know, he could die in it, and it could be terrible, or he could live in it, and he could be great. It could be anything in between, you know?
Although, if he lives and is great, it will break the law of Sean Bean as we know it.
Yes. But Eva Green appearing in the film is phenomenal as well, I think.
Yes, we love Eva Green, but she doesn't have some sort of strange death curse wished upon her by the script-writing gods, so... Choose life, choose a job, choose a career, choose a family, choose a fucking big TV, because you're going to need it to watch the Trainspotting sequel. It's coming. It's actually really coming after fucking 19 years. Trainspotting 2 is happening.
Danny Boyle, I think, confirmed that this would be the next film he would work with.
After the Steve Jobs film, which, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited about Michael Fassbender playing Steve Jobs with Danny Boyle directing.
Isn't that closing up soon?
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's going to be released, I think, next month or something, you know. And wait, like they're not going to call it Trainspotting 2 because didn't the book have a sequel and it was called Porno?
The book had a sequel and it was called Porno, but apparently he doesn't want to use that as the basis for the sequel, so he's getting a scriptwriter.
So this is a unique story, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
A cinematic sequel, which is being written by the original dude who wrote Trainspotting. Get pumped.
Interesting, yes.
They're bringing back all the original characters.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because I think Ewan McGregor has said he would want to return.
Yeah, so Robert Carlyle as Begbie, Johnny Lee Miller as Sick Boy, they're all coming back. So
it did have a phenomenal cast considering, you know, I mean, all of these went on to be really, like, well-known names, like.
Trainspotting is one of my favourite films ever.
It is a fantastic film, like, you know.
No word on whether the dead baby's coming back, but this is the good type of sequel announcement.
Yeah, this is a positive one.
Like, we're going to have some shitty sequel announcements later, but this is the good type of sequel. This is the type of sequel that gives people hope for all the other sequels to turn out to fist both my fucking eye holes. Original team's getting back together to do some more heroin. It's going to be sick.
Lovely.
Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. Beauty and the Beast. Samuel L. Jackson and Motherfucker. And now another one of cinema's great couples might be returning to the screen together because Godzilla and King Kong are back at the same studio.
Awesome.
Yeah. Kong Skull Island was at Universal Pictures for some reason, but apparently Legendary wanted it to be darker and grittier. My words, not theirs. Because they're moving over to Warner Brothers, which is where Gareth Evans' King Kong sequel happened to be made. Or was it Gareth Jones? I always get those two mixed up. I'm very excited about this because this will be the first time that King Kong and Godzilla will be together fighting on screen without it being a fucking puppet. Sorry, Japan.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a puppet, it was a man in a suit.
Potato, man in suit.
Yeah, well, this is definitely interesting. I mean, when beasts collide and all that kind of crack. But at the same time, isn't there something to do with weren't Universal going for like a monster, you know, verse thing?
Yep, and apparently they gave up on that idea. Now Warner Brothers gets the whole monster verse thing.
I suppose it might be a case of, you know, Dracula and the werewolf did not go well with a giant fucking ape.
I'd still watch the hell out of that.
Oh, yeah, you'd still watch it. It's just it would.
I mean, Vampire Kong.
It doesn't kind of compare.
Yeah, it'd be like Mario versus Donkey Kong, except with more vampires.
That actually is the thing.
What?
Isn't it?
Vampire Kong?
No.
Is it happening?
No.
Is this a dream?
Mario and Donkey Kong is a thing, like, you know, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I was saying it was like that. That sort of man versus big motherfucking gorilla.
Oh, so you would have been for it, like, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was using metaphors and shit.
Yes, I got it. Well, apparently they gave up on that, which, yeah, I suppose, fuck it, like.
Yeah, I mean, getting real here, what do they call the Godzilla film? Did they just call it Godzilla?
Oh, the one in 2014?
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Yeah, because the plot of that was garbage. But
I quite like that film, I'll be honest.
Yeah, holy shit, effects, stunning.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I think they did the story right, because they teased him out, and, you know, I know a lot of people had a problem with him not appearing as much, but
yep.
I was okay with that. I think it was worth it, because when he showed up, holy crap, was it awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the story of this new hypothetical Godzilla versus Kong film
Keep in mind that
could basically be, I don't know, Christian Bale eating a bag of ugly cocks, and I'd still watch it just for the fight.
Yes, well, yeah, of course, that makes sense. Okay.
I'm excited about this. Quietly optimistic.
To be fair, this is completely hypothetical, as in it's just a case that they happen to be in the same studio now.
Well, it's more than that. There are rumours swirling around that they're going for the monster.
Well, of course there are rumours. I'd fucking start a rumour if that was the case. You know what I mean? But it's a case that, yeah, this makes the most logical sense, but there's nothing confirmed, is what I'm saying.
Yep, not by the studio. But
okay.
Some people seem pretty damn certain. And it looks like another great cinematic couple might be getting back together. Doug Liman and Tom Cruise.
I don't know if I'd call them a great cinematic couple. I mean, they're going well so far.
Look, they had one glorious moment of passion with Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes.
And now they're getting back together for Luna Park, which apparently has been a passion project, of Doug Liman's since 2011, but hasn't gotten off the ground up until now.
Well, I suppose he's now got a bit of momentum since Edge of Tomorrow.
He did Mr. and Mrs. Smith in the middle there, and whoa.
He did that film?
He did that film. But he's back on the straight and narrow now with Edge of Tomorrow. And the studio's starting to believe in him again, which is why he gets to make his pet project.
Yeah. Interesting to note, would he be is he on to, or linked to it or whatever, to be directing the follow-up to his own film of Edge of Tomorrow?
That's very early stages. Chris McQuarrie likes the idea.
Oh, right.
I think he likes the idea. Emily Blunt, I don't know if she's heard the idea.
I guess we'll see,
I'm never saying the word idea again. But anyway, the plot of Luna Park is about a group of employees who go to the moon to steal an energy source. That's it.
Okay.
That's all we know so far, folks.
But is there, what's on the... Is it a...
No, do
there
not
park,
ask for...
Is there a park on the moon, did it say?
Do not ask for more details, because I do not have them.
Okay.
That's all anybody knows about this thing, except for Doug Liman and Tom Cruise.
And producers, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but I like them as a team.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they can make some magic together again, and that we'll all get to watch.
Yes. The Steven Spielberg directed Ready Player One, which has the release date of 15th of December 2017, has found its female lead in Olivia Cook, most well known for, I suppose, the recently Me, Earl and the Dying Girl, the TV series Bates Motel, and Ouija. And she'll be playing Artemis, who's like the virtual friend of the main character.
Sounds fun. I mean, I don't believe in Spielberg as much as I used to.
Right. Well, I guess we'll see soon enough, seeing as that his another war film of his is being released soon, Bridge of Spies, I think.
Yep.
And then you have the BFG film the following year, next summer, I think.
Yep.
And then I'd imagine then he'll start directing or start production anyway in Ready Player One, which is of course based on the book Ready Player One.
Last Spielberg film that impressed you, go.
Man, I can't remember all of them chronologically.
I'm pretty certain it was Saving Private Ryan or Catch Me If You Can for me.
Well, I was definitely very much impressed with Minority Report.
Yeah, was Minority Report after Catch Me If You Can? Probably was.
I think they were around the same time. I think one was right before the other, I think.
Yeah. But he's had a barren period lately, man.
Yeah, but he's still directed some of the best films, you know?
Yeah, I feel like his powers have waned.
I feel it's almost like he's more taking a step back to produce, no?
If you look, he's got 3 different projects on the go at the minute. There is no one Spielberg project happening.
Yes, there's 3 of them, so we're going to get, overdosed with them soon.
Yeah, we're not getting one Steven Spielberg film. We are getting 3 films that are each 1/3 Steven Spielberg and probably 2/3 some fucking Hollywood committee.
He's in post. The thing is, he's not doing them all at the same time. He's doing one, and then he's going to the next one, and then he's doing the next one, as things tend to work out.
Yeah, but he's doing them too quickly, one after the other.
What are you saying? He's
to focus on any one. I'm saying no man can be everywhere at once, mentally as well as physically.
Okay, look. First of all, he's probably not writing a script for every film, right? He's probably not casting.
That's even worse.
Does he do that?
No.
Does he even do that as a director?
But without script oversight.
I'm not saying he's not looking at them. Damn thing.
This is like some dude who has about 70 kids. It's like none of those is really his baby.
What the fuck, Fergal?
It's none of those kids is going to get the parental attention it deserves because he's trying to look after 69 other kids.
Right. That's okay. But look, he's still got a massive amount of talent, and he's undisputably one of the best, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if one of them is good, then it'll be fantastic. If not, then I guess that's just the risk.
No, I feel like if one of them is good, it'll be good. It won't necessarily be fantastic.
So you're not figuring one of them will be awesome.
No.
I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not like convinced, but Ready Player One doesn't convince me. It doesn't like draw me in. And Bridge of Spies, I don't know. And in BFG, I mean, again, BFG is pretty solid ground, but it'll depend, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the one that's most dependable. But the problem is, one of my big problems with Spielberg is that he can sometimes be over sentimental, and I feel that could be an issue for BFG.
Yeah, maybe his problem is that he's too good. Like, he can't focus on any one film.
I think it's almost like all three of these films are quite different. So it's almost like his diversity is coming back to bite him, could come back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, I feel like if he focused in on any one of these films, it might be fantastic. But
I think you might be overstating that kind of like the gap. But you know, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. You know,
the director's the shepherd, man.
Anyway,
if he doesn't give the fuck about a flock, the wolves are going to take the sheep. I'm even way over my head with these metaphors. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. Anyway,
Olivia Cook is the female lead for the film Ready Player One, and she'll be playing the character Artemis. I think that's how it's pronounced. And she's a good young actress, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Fergal is unsure.
So on to the next story. Jamie Foxx has joined Edgar Wright's next movie, Baby Driver. In other news, Edgar Wright is making a film called Baby Driver.
Yes. And what have you got on us there, Fergal?
Well, it's currently scheduled to release in March 2017. And the cast currently, besides Jamie Foxx obviously, is Ansel Elgort, who you might remember from, I'm forgetting this, The Fault in Our Stars. He was the male lead in that. But anyway, the plot of this film is about a crime boss who coerces a young, talented getaway driver to work for him. Ansel Elgort's playing the driver, who relies on the beat of his personal soundtrack to be the best. That sounds like a musical hook.
Yeah, so who's going to be the driver? Will it be...
Ansel Elgort, yeah.
Okay. The thing is what I'm wondering. So it sounds like a heist film.
He must face the music when a doomed heist threatens his life, love, and freedom.
So it's an Edgar Wright heist film.
Yep.
So you could have said that maybe Ant-Man might have ended up like the Edgar Wright heist film.
That's interesting, actually, yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, Ant-Man was a heist film, right?
Yeah.
At a miniature scale.
Well, I haven't seen it.
No,
I'm sorry, I'm a bad film critic.
No, I haven't gotten around to seeing it. I was going to see it, and then it went down to cinema. But it is a heist film, and so Edgar Wright was originally on it, and then he got removed, and then he left it because he didn't want to tie it into the Marvel Universe as closely, but a lot of his stuff stuck around apparently.
Yep.
And so it sounds like he went from not making a heist film with Marvel to making a heist film with a musical driver.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
I mean, it's an interesting kind of gimmick hook, I suppose, that the driver uses like his jams to help him escape traffic jams, I guess.
Yeah, I think the closest parallel is Guardians of the Galaxy, where music became very heavily part of that film.
He used that soundtrack really well. Yeah. And he used it, I think, is the important word.
Edgar Wright, I mean, I can't think, has he ever used music this heavily in a film before?
He probably used it in some fight scenes in like the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah.
But nothing comes to mind, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, although I guess if music's a heavy element, maybe he gets to show us what he keeps on his personal iPod this time around.
He does. He's a very unique style, and so it would be cool to see what he works with.
Yeah, I mean, Edgar Wright's never disappointed me. The only time he disappointed me is when he left Ant-Man.
Yes.
And that, to be fair, that was because the Marvel Creative Committee was kind of doing the Marvel Creative Committee thing. Yes, they were suffocating him.
So,
but now he can breathe again. He's out making his next film, Baby Driver, and I'm excited about that.
It is, to say the least, interesting.
And exciting. Alright, so close the windows, lock the doors, and turn off the lights, because we're about to drop some high-level knowledge on you. Christopher Nolan is finally... Well, someone's after confirming that Christopher Nolan is working on his next film. And as is typical of Christopher Nolan's next film...
We have no details.
Yeah, not even a name. But...
We have a release date already? I mean, that's...
yeah, slated for release July 21st, 2017. Bang in the middle of blockbuster territory, which seems to be where Christopher Nolan lives now.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah, that's all we really know. And it's kind of what we've come to expect from Nolan at this stage. I mean, nobody knew what the hell Inception was about for ages beforehand.
I mean, Interstellar even had a kind of a wave of, like, is this a farming film? Is this a film about farming? The trailers kind of made people think that, like, if you were stupid enough to do that, if you were stupid enough to believe it was going to be a farming film, seriously?
I'd probably still watch a Christopher Nolan farming film.
Oh, yeah. But who taught that? Anyway.
I'm sure it'd be a non-linear, multi-layered narration of the life of a harvester.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be a case of the crops haven't grown, the crops aren't growing at all, and then it cuts to a flashback at the end to see that the seed was never actually planted.
We need to harvest deeper.
And
yeah, that's...
Now, you can clearly... Now, of course, what about overlap in terms of everything?
This release date.
Timing, like.
Okay, it's going to be opening up opposite Pitch Perfect 3. Probably not same audience. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine might actually benefit them because, it might be a case of people would go to this in exchange for going to this or something.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like some dudes who might have been going to see.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, might get dragged to Pitch Perfect 3 by their SOs. See, an untitled animated film from Fox.
Yeah, so there's not much real competition there, like,
I'm guessing the animated film would be for kids.
There's not a lot of overlap there, really, in terms of audience.
Nope.
However,
now it's going to be competing with films opening either side of it a week before and a week after, really. Beforehand, the next Planet of the Apes film is opening up.
War of the Planet of the Apes?
That seems like it could be a heavy hitter. I mean, the last one and the one before were really like They did well critically. They did well commercially. Those are big gorillas to be getting in the ring with.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And then after we have another kind of big deal, Sony and Marvel's next Spider-Man film.
So yeah, basically Marvel fixing Sony's mistakes. The film.
Yeah, which that's one case where I would have been glad if the Marvel Creative Committee came over and just took the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because Sony I'm not going to get into Sony and Spider-Man again. Fuck you, Sony.
Maybe later. But it's very much a case of it's going to be a case of one week you're going to have the new Apes film. Next week you're going to have the Nolan film, and then you're going to have the Spider-Man film.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's the thing. It's just down there as Nolan film.
Yeah, even with the rivalry with those two films, I feel like a Nolan film at this point it's like a token that a studio can cash in for at least $500 million.
Oh yeah, I mean that, like, people will just go to see it because Christopher Nolan's name is on it.
Yeah, with good reason.
Oh yeah.
Okay, first off, before we get into this next story, we're going to be talking about some fucking heavy shit.
Yes, yes we are.
Okay, I like to keep it light, so I'm going to be making jokes about it, but like,
it's not to be joked with.
Yeah, this is some fucked up shit right here. I mean, we are talking about some fucked up shit. I understand that we are talking about some fucked up shit. There's no point in it. We're not on fucking News Talk. We're not on 60 Minutes here. We're not providing that sort of service. So I'm gonna...
If you want that, there's plenty of other places that do it.
I'm gonna treat it lighter, but this guy's a fucking scumbag. Onto the story.
Okay, Jeepers Creepers 3 is in the works, and it'll start production in early 2016, and it'll be produced by Francis Ford Coppola. It'll be the follow up to Jeepers Creepers 2, which was made in 2003, which was the follow up to Jeepers Creepers 1, which was made in 2001, and also returning is writer, director, and paedophile Victor Salva.
Wait, writer, director, and
Paedophile. And and registered sex offender, and
Yeah, okay. Details of child abuse incoming. 1989 was it?
Yes.
That this guy was convicted for having a 12...
No. He wasn't convicted. I think that's when it happened.
Ah. Okay. Later on, he was convicted of having a kid suck his dick in 1989. A 12-year-old kid.
I don't think it didn't say who was who.
Okay. There was dick sucking involved with a 12-year-old kid. This is not a good thing. Especially when the motherfucker was recording it.
Yeah.
This is Victor Salva, people.
And
that is motherfucking Roman Polanski shit.
So basically, he ended up I think he got 3 years, and after 15 months, he ended up he's basically on parole now. And so yeah, they're apparently letting this go ahead. And now again, you shouldn't really associate the film with a guy who with his past, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, you can't help but do it.
Look, straight up, I think that I'd be fine with this guy directing the film if, say, they'd chemically castrated him beforehand.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. But,
yeah, it is. It's just
shit. Are they going super meta on this? Cause,
wait, what?
It's a film about a monster that goes around terrorizing kids and taking their body parts and everything. A fucking paedophile director. Seems appropriate
or inappropriate? I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but sure.
Jesus,
it's more than weird. It's completely bloody disturbing.
This guy should never be working again.
Are there actually kids going to be working on this? I'm not sure, but it will be the same crew, if you know what I mean.
This dude should be a motherfucking fuckboy in prison.
We never know.
Regardless, yeah.
It's getting made anyway, and it's going to be directed by Victor Salva, and all that kind of crack.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that Hollywood directors have taught us, it's that there's life after fucking child rape.
Thank you, Fergal.
So from that, we'll move on to another story that makes me say what the fuck, but in a different and much happier way.
Yeah, I mean, this is good news.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro is working on I am reading this right, people, WALL-E meets Splash project. Now,
okay. Are they combining the love story and WALL-E, or are they combining the mermaid and WALL-E?
No fucking idea.
Yeah.
WALL-E is the robot, a super cute robot film from a few years back.
Yeah,
Pixar.
great film.
Yeah, fantastic.
I really enjoy that film, yeah.
And then Splash is the 1984 film about...
where basically Tom Hanks fell in love with a mermaid.
Yep. Tom Hanks fertilized fish eggs or something. I'm not sure how that shit ever worked.
Wait, did he do that? I don't know. I've never seen the film.
You haven't seen the director's cut. Lies. There is no director's cut of Splash. But this thing is being added to Pacific Rim 2 Maelstrom, The Strain, Crimson Peak, and Killing on Carnival Row, which are also projects that Guillermo del Toro is part of.
Well, I've also heard the rumour that if Pacific Rim 2 was critically and commercially well received, that he would make Hellboy 3, but you always hear that damn rumour. Always.
They're just fucking with us at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's playing with our hearts,
Hellboy 2 was so good. Yeah, this is a thing. I don't know what the hell kind of thing it is, but I mean, it's a thing. There's more Guillermo del Toro out there.
It's an odd one, I'll give it that, but we'll see,
Oh yeah. Eyes on this space. Or possibly Eyes on this under the sea, who the fuck knows.
Mm-hmm. Dark times are these, that an unnecessary reboot would get an unnecessary remake or unnecessary sequel, whatever. RoboCop, which of course the 2014 one, which was a reboot or remake of the 80s one, which was the solid one, the gritty one, and then of course it was remade into this shiny, just like forgettable film, and like
the strangely violent film that still wanted to sell toys.
Yes. No, wait, you're talking about the first one.
Hmm? No, I'm talking about the reboot.
The first one wanted to do that as well.
Hmm? Yeah, but I mean, like, that was ultra violent.
There were toys as well for that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had a toy for that.
That didn't come from the TV series, did it?
I don't think so. Not sure. No, they did do it for the film.
Yeah, because
though.
RoboCop 1 was very definitely not a kid's film.
Well,
it was
anyway,
high-octane nightmare fuel.
This RoboCop film, anyway, in the 2014 one, which we struggle to remember what year it was made in, it was so forgettable, that, apparently Sony will welcome pitches for a sequel. That's right, they don't even have an actual concrete idea. They're just saying, if you have an idea about a RoboCop sequel, give us a shout. It's basically, that's what it sounds like. Which, it sounds... It's desperate and frustrating at the same time.
It puzzles me why they want to do this, other than some sort of a determination to hold on to the property, or just to milk this for all it's worth.
Well, like, would the property go anywhere? I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
Potentially. I mean, like, Jose Padilla was directing the last one, and it was completely garbage. And Jose Padilla is a phenomenal director. It's just that Sony'd all over it.
Yeah, like, Sony do have a habit, like we said, that they just...
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, they just...
Spider-Man. Sucks as hard as a Spider-Man can.
Yeah. It's just... It's a desperate state that, like, why don't you just, like, welcome... Rather than welcoming pitches for a non-necessary sequel, for an unnecessary reboot, why don't you welcome pitches for an original concept? Or
because
is that...
an original concept doesn't have the kind of word of mouth that
I think the fact is that I think the RoboCop film with Kinnerman basically made back enough money. That's it.
Yeah, plus they probably think there's some more cash to be milked out of this cow that is limping to a slow and painful death. I
mean, they've had to replace body parts in this cow.
Yeah. Its udders rotted and corroded from the ill-involved or ill-timed milking of Sony. The story is getting dark, folks.
Yeah, it's but like they're just welcoming it. They're not actually. There's nothing in the works. There's no script. There's nothing. But they say that if you have a pitch for it, you know where to send it. Sony, or the title, whatever.
Cash register sound effect. So, they just can't leave fucking Patrick Swayze alone, can they?
That's because he's dead. They can turn it. They're hoping that the turning in his coffin will actually generate some power.
Yeah, they are remaking Roadhouse, which is following on from them remaking Point Break. So they're going after all of Swayze's big roles. Well, they're gender swapping it. Ronda Rousey's playing it. I mean, Ronda Rousey's great.
Well, Ronda Rousey can kick some ass.
Yeah.
But, like, I think, wasn't it Roadhouse? It was just, like, this cheesy, like, action film in the 80s.
It's about a bouncer.
Which, of course, may be the most generic sentence you can say.
Yeah. I mean, the 80s was a cheesy action film.
Yeah.
Swayze was a bouncer. He was brought in to clean up the meanest bar in Missouri. And then he
Wait a minute, is there any chance this might be a strip club in this one? Because I'd be on board for that.
Sexist, bad, stop. So Swayze takes out the trash, wins over the girl, and defeats a corrupt businessman, all in 114 minutes of action-packed fisticuffs. So I assume that Ronda Rousey is going to be taking out the trash, defeating a corrupt businessman, and winning over the girl as well.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, because on the one hand, it's studios unnecessarily remaking.
I think it's a case that they're unnecessarily remaking it, but if they're going to remake it, and they're going to gender swap it, they cast the exact right person.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey's being super fucking charming about this. She went to Swayze's widow to ask for a blessing to star in it. So, I don't know, maybe it's publicity stunt, maybe it's respectful, I don't know, but I kind of like it.
Why not both?
Yeah, it's there's no script. The MGM's currently taking pitches from different writers. So
what, they can't use okay, never mind. I suppose they can't use the same script from the 80s. That would be kind of weird. And awesome.
Yeah, that'd be radical, man.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. No, more on this far out story as it happens.
Totally.
Dude. So, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if you're Daniel Day-Lewis. Ben Foster is now more meta than you.
Yeah, it's an insane story, to be honest, but it's like, okay.
Yeah. So, Ben Foster is playing the role of Lance Armstrong in the film The Program. Upcoming film. Trailer looks super dope. Haha. But in order to research for the role and to keep in shape during the role, Foster, well, he went the hog.
Oh, yes. He may have gone a little bit too far.
Yeah, he took motherfucking steroids.
Yeah. You see, my immediate thought upon hearing this was basically like, well, he's an actor. Why can't he pretend he was taking the steroids?
He's a method actor.
I mean, yes.
You're just lucky he didn't have to kill someone in the film.
That's the problem. Like, where do you call it? Like,
apparently you don't call it taking steroids anyway.
Yeah, apparently that's not the line.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at actors taking steroids, to be honest. I'm more surprised at actors admitting to taking steroids, because, you know, it's like certain actors, you look at how much they bulk up
but
for
like,
roles.
The thing is,
like,
did he take the steroids? Like, during the shooting, as in to take a realistic shot, or did he do it to see what it's like and to actually like improve himself?
Let's see, I'm going to directly quote him here. Doping affects your mind. It doesn't make you feel high. There are behaviours when you've got those chemicals running through your body that serve you on the bike, but which, when you're not, well, I've only just recovered physically. I'm not only now getting my levels back. So I think, yeah, it sounds like he was taking them all the time during filming.
But, as in, did they film him taking it in order to, like, lessen the CGI costs or something?
I'm pretty certain you can.
That wouldn't be legal.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be, at the very least, even if it was legal because of some loophole, it'd be highly morally objectionable.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. Well, yeah, that's undoubtedly true. And yeah, so what do you think? Like, do you think it's meta? Do you think it's just like, do you applaud him for his method acting, or do you think like he might have gone a bit too far?
I mean, honestly, with this, like I said, I'm not surprised an actor did it. I mean, actors bulk up so much all the time that, of course, they're on some shit. I'm just kind of impressed that he admitted it. Like, I can't condone this fucking behaviour, but that kind of honesty, you don't see it that often.
You definitely got to appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's put it, some actors out there, it's not just lean chicken and push-ups. So this, even though it's right at the end, this might be my favourite story this week because of what it means.
Yeah, go on.
Matt Damon took his shirt off. And it was photographed.
Okay.
Because they are finally starting filming the actual fourth Bourne film, because the Bourne legacy does not count, seriously, guys.
The fourth Jason Bourne film.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, like, I think if they can fit, I don't know, like, it's almost a case with the, I think we've probably given up.
They're bringing back Paul Greengrass.
We've given out enough about the Bourne legacy. But the thing is that it's just a case of nothing happens in it rather than it being offensively bad. Go on. Yeah, but
I think the fact that it's following some great films makes the fact that nothing happens in it offensively bad.
Yeah, Paul Greengrass anyway back.
Paul Greengrass back, Julia Stiles back, Tommy Lee Jones is in, and According to Matt Damon, and this is a little tidbit that I wasn't expecting, but sounds interesting, this adventure will be ending in Las Vegas.
Ending in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an odd one to tell people.
Yeah, it's unusual, but interesting. And the other little quotable, which I'm way more excited about because it shows that they're keeping the political slant that they had through the Greengrass films, is, without giving too much of it away, it's born through an austerity-riddled Europe and a post-Snowden world. It seems like enough has changed, you know? There are all these kinds of arguments about spying and civil liberties and the nature of democracy. That's Matt Damon directly telling us this shit's gonna be political, yo.
So, it sounds like it's very much going to be like a case of post-Snowden, almost.
I think he actually used the phrase post-Snowden.
Did you quote that?
Yep.
How did I not hear that? Yeah, well, yeah, that's... Okay, fair enough, then.
It's most likely going to be post-Snowden, unless Matt Damon's lying to us.
It's definitely... Like, it makes sense for it to deal with it. In fact, it makes sense for them to go back to the Bourne stuff because of that real-life stuff happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just super fucking happy about this. It's finally happening. After all the rumours and that fucking film, the real Bourne sequel is finally happening.
Yes.
I will never forgive that film ever.
You'll never forgive that film ever. Okay,
no.
Right. So the trailer for the new Jake Gyllenhaal film, Demolition, has been released anyway.
Yeah, this is the new Jean-Marc Vallée film.
Yes, and he, like, considering his last two films have got like Oscars out of their like lead actor or actress.
In addition to being pretty boss-ass films.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of being the Dallas Buyers Club and Wild. I mean, yeah, like the performance fit the film, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so, you know, this film looks kind of, again, like one of his films, you know what I mean? Originally I thought it would be darker, but now I'm realising that it does have this subtle darkness, and at the same time, you know, life-giving energy.
It does
blah, blah,
seem
blah.
a bit more light-hearted.
Yeah, light-hearted, but at the same time
tone.
having this darkness, you know what I mean?
I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal, his overall narration, assuming that narration's in the film, seems like there's a lot of it setting a comedic counterpoint to different scenes in the film.
I suppose you want to tell the listeners what exactly happened, approximately, like.
The trailer's online. Jake Gyllenhaal makes with the funny, and his father-in-law doesn't like him.
Funny and tragic, I guess, is probably the best.
Yeah, that's true. His wife dies, and he realises he never really paid attention to his wife. It's been rough for Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, he's getting in touch with his, he's correcting his life path, basically, I think is the right word.
Plus, he rents out a fucking bulldozer.
That is pretty awesome in the trailer, I'll admit that.
Yeah. This, it seems... I mean, Wild was woman against the elements, and a bunch of dudes who were fucking rapists. And then Dallas Buyer Club was man versus AIDS.
Yeah, that's basically man versus bureaucracy, I'd say.
And AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it was perhaps bureaucracy-powered AIDS. But this seems to be man versus grief.
Yes, and that sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, as level 1, and then level 2 is man against his own ignorance, his own
against correcting
tendency
his life,
to take things for granted.
I'd say correcting his life path, changing his view of life and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, which I think that's been it's kind of the Jean-Marc Vallée style, really, of having this character go through an intense struggle through which they realise that their former life was complete garbage. Which is admittedly the plot of 95% of films ever made. But it feels especially to the forefront here.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I like this. I'm going to go watch this.
It's lighthearted and yet it's dark trailer. I think is probably the best way to say it.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I think I've made that clear previously.
Yeah, I think we're big fans of it, and hopefully, this will be another Oscar push for him.
Yeah, because he got robbed like Leonardo DiCaprio last year.
Yeah, I think it was much more tragic than DiCaprio's stuff.
Yes.
And the other trailer that we also have to review, I suppose, is The Lobster, which is the new Colin Farrell film, which will be debuting this year, I think.
Not making this up. It's about Colin Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to an island where...
Basically, if you don't fall in love within a certain period of time, you get turned into an animal. Of your choosing.
Not making that up.
And
he heads to the island with his brother, who has been to the island before and didn't find his love, so he's a fucking dog, yeah. And Colin Farrell goes around wooing Rachel Weisz, but if he doesn't find his love, he wants to be a lobster.
Yeah. It's one of these strange comedies. You get that feeling from the trailers, and you get that feeling from like the reviews they flash up and all this.
It reminded me a little of Wes Anderson in terms of there's this very outlandish scenario that people are taking for granted within the film. That's
actually makes complete sense. Yeah, it's quirky and at the same time heartfelt.
Yeah, and Colin Farrell is by his unreal comedic chops, so this suits him perfectly. Rachel Weisz, I think, has very underrated comedic chops. I'm happy to see her in it. And I like this. I like this a lot. I don't know where it's going, but I guess the director, one second, Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yes, Yorgos Lanthimos he's on a winner here.
It's like he hasn't directed many things before. I think this is only like his fourth or fifth
directed
film.
It might be his first English language film. Actually, I'm not sure.
Probably his first wide release in the West, I guess.
This is
it definitely looks interesting and quirky. Yeah. And I guess we'll judge when we judge it.
Like the plot, I was interested in beforehand, but the trailer really wowed me. I mean, it
was impressive. Yeah,
offbeat's the word I'm going to go for.
Oh yeah,
yeah, whimsical, good shit.
Yeah. So here's hoping.
Fiend.
And this has been episode 21 of the Idiot's Odyssey. I've been Owen Murphy. You can find me on Twitter at OwenM1990.
And for Fergal O'Connor, you can find me on Twitter at Interspammer.
And you can also find the Idiot's Odyssey on both Facebook and Twitter at Idiot's Odyssey, and you can email us at idiotsodysseypodcast@gmail.com. And you can find the show notes for this particular episode at idiotsodyssey.com /IO21.
Just Google Idiot's Odyssey, it's not hard, people. And thanks for listening.